It's not going right side up anytime soon. Let me explain. MAGA is splitting. Yes, MAGA is splitting. And who would have thought that it would be a war with Iran and Israel to begin this seismic crack? Last night, Trump posted this on Truth Social, attacking, no, wait for it, Tucker Carlson. Let me show you what he said. In it, he turns around and he says, somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That was just, of course, the beginning. That was the lob of Trump for much more that was about to come. Now, early in the day, yesterday at the G7 summit, Trump commented on Tucker, poking fun at the fact that he's no longer even on Fox. Play the clip.
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, remember, once the darling of the Trump group, once the guy who defended him, regardless of whatever he did, this seems to be that seismic crack that's separating everybody. Meanwhile, Trump's comments, they come after Tucker Carlson has been insanely critical of the Israel-Iran war. Last week, let me show you what Tucker ended up posting on X. In it, he turns around and he says, the real divide isn't between people who support Israel and people who support Iran or the Palestinians. The real divide is between those who casually encourage violence and those who seek to prevent it, between warmongers and peacekeepers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anyone who's calling Donald Trump today to demand airstrikes and other direct U.S. military involvement in a war with Iran. On that list, whoa, check this out. Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, Ike Perlmutter, and Miriam Adelson. At some point, they will all have to answer for this, but you should know their names now. Let me tell you, bold move by Tucker, calling all these folks out. And yesterday, Tucker went on Steve Bannon's show, where he said that Fox News, again, upside down world, Fox News is a propaganda machine. Play the clip.
So what is that? That's not by popular acclaim. That's not like their viewer surveys. Like, we need a lot more Mark Levin. Less Jesse Waters, more Mark Levin. Mark Levin! What they're doing is what they always do, which is just turning up the propaganda hose to full blast and just trying to, knock elderly Fox viewers off their feet and make them submit to a new war.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I don't know what drugs this guy is on, but whatever it is, you may want to pull back a little bit there, Tucker. Tucker also goes on and claims that the Israel-Iran conflict may be, again, you can't make this up. This is Tucker Carlson we're talking about. Maybe the end of the American empire. First of all, we're not an empire. All right, we're a country. Play the clip.
I actually really love Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you. That's
look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush. We had, family connections to Bush. I knew Bush. Personally, I still see Bush sometimes. And, of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq. And that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once
domestically,
right. To improve the country.
Right.
Yeah. Again, that 2 ounces of flattery in the pound of active negativity towards Trump, it's not going to get Tucker anywhere. But I want to show you another clip of Tucker's critical comments. These are really something to watch. Play the clip.
You're not going to convince me that the Iranian people are my enemy. Again, we're going down this here. Here's who you're required to hate. It's Orwell, man. I'm a free man. You're not telling me who I have to hate. I'll decide who I like and don't like on the basis of my values and what I believe my interests are. I don't want to be involved in this at all. And I think most Americans don't. And it's only because
we're inexorably getting drawn into a war.
By a tiny minority of people. You know what I mean? This is like, it's all so fake.
It's not fake. It's not fake at all. The Ayatollah is a dangerous, dangerous theocrat who wants to exterminate Israel, chants death to America, has already put out a intifada against folks like Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi, which of course is why Saudi is so interested in the relationship with America. It's for his own salvation, and other countries in the region. They are a theocracy, and this man is insanely dangerous. Now imagine this insanely dangerous guy with a nuclear warhead and the ability to produce even more. Meanwhile, Tucker goes on and he literally drops the hammer on Trump, saying that it shows that he has no experience. Play the clip.
The only reason I'm saying any of this is because I really, really care. And it's been, what a disaster for me personally. I mean, it's like the last thing I wake up, all these texts, well, I can't believe you're so evil. You hate this, that. I just want to restate, I don't hate anybody. And to the extent I do hate people, I try to repent of it. I don't want to hate anybody. I really don't. I just don't want my country to be further weakened or destroyed by another one of these wars. And boy, if you can't connect the dots after 25 years of this shit, you're either too dumb to participate in the conversation, or you're, like Mark Levin, just a liar who doesn't care.
Yeah, let me talk to you about what dumb is. It's not acknowledging that even if a nuclear warhead explodes over in the Middle East, Mr. Genius, you do understand that we share the same air, right, on this earth, that a nuclear fallout there affects America, Americans, our American empire, as you like to say. How do you not side with your allies? That's dumb. Meanwhile, he also spoke extremely critically of our American military. Play that clip.
I mean, there's a whole other question, which is how prepared is the U.S. military for a real conflict? And the answer is totally unprepared. Scary unprepared. I don't think people understand that.
No, I don't think you understand. A guy who has zero military experience, who is so far now removed from reality, who's sitting there just spewing more stupidity, not really sure to whom. The American people stand by Israel in this. They stand with Israel, knowing that forever now, since 79, the Ayatollah have been calling for the death and destruction of one of America's closest allies in the world. And as far as our military, there is no military that comes even close to second when it deals with the United States. Not just our service members, but our technology, second to none. Now, meanwhile, in the last few weeks, even Marjorie Taylor Greene has become critical of Trump. Again, that's why I started this thing out. Talk about the upside down MAGA crazy that's going on right now. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene has become critical of Trump. She literally went on X to support Tucker Carlson against Trump. Let me show you what she said. In it, she turns around and she writes, Tucker Carlson is one of my favorite people. He fiercely loves his wife, children, and our country. Since being fired by the neocon network Fox News, he has more popularity and viewers than ever before. He unapologetically believes the same things I do, that if we don't fight for our own country and our own people, then we will no longer have a country for our children and our grandchildren. And foreign wars, intervention, regime change put America last, kill innocent people, are making us broke, and will ultimately lead to our destruction. That's not kooky. That's what millions of Americans voted for. It's what we believe is America first. Let me be very clear about something. When she brought up kooky, of course, she was referring to Trump's comments that he made. But that X posting on her behalf is so antithetical to what people voted for. I mean, it's funny because in one way, yeah, we need to stop Russia with the invasion of Ukraine. We needed to intercede with India and Pakistan. We need to deal with Israel and Hamas, right? But somewhere along the line, now all of a sudden, as it relates to Iran, this is just one expense, one war that's just too far. I'm not even sure where this ideology is coming from, because it's certainly, again, antithetical to what Trump has been saying. Right, we would all prefer no war, don't get me wrong, but we don't get to decide that. We just get to be the big boy at the top of the mountain telling people what to do. Now, I want to end on a clip of Chris Sununu on CNN trying to claim that Tucker and Bannon are idiot conspiracy theorists. Play that clip.
This is, I mean, we were just talking about peace, right? Like Trump, it feels like he's a little bit at war with himself because he said all the time, I mean, he wants to be known as the peacemaker, the deal maker, the guy who ends wars. And yet here he finds himself defending another war.
Well, I don't know. I don't think Trump's defending the war. Trump's defending Israel's actions, and within a week or two, he's going to try to find an off-ramp to bring it to peace. And as for Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon, they do not define what the MAGA or the conservative base is. There's two idiot conspiracy theorists. The base, the MAGA base, the conservative base, believe me, they're all behind Trump, and that's it. He's the one that calls the shots on what kind of defines that MAGA base. And he's not trying to get us into a war. He's trying to get us out of that war. And yes, and he understands the political ramifications if it goes too long, if it doesn't work out. So that's why I think he's back in D.C. doing everything they can to kind of cut a deal to end this within a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. It's hard for me to say I'm actually agreeing with Chris Sununu. I'm actually agreeing with MAGA on this one. This is a terrible war. Don't get me wrong. And I would prefer that it didn't even start, but it did start. And that's the job of the United States. It always has been. It's why we are the beacon on the top of the hill. And as always, thanks for listening.